The Dodgers would absolutely break baseball again if they pulled off this trade. We've got the 5 biggest offseason needs, got some player grades for the 2025 season. Also, some weird drama with Hae-Sung Kim. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade! We got it, Parade! The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series! Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock! Milky Magic! Freeman hits the ball to right field! See it! It's gone! Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you are new to the show, now's the time. Become an everyday listener, an everyday viewer of the show, because championships are built in the offseason. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and if you want to support every episode, hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Your back-to-back champions. Also drop a comment down below. Also, this show is brought to you by GearUp.LA, the best Dodgers t-shirts in the game. Go to GearUp.LA and the LA Sports Report. That's my new show. That's about all LA sports. The Dodgers, the Lakers, got interviews, USC, UCLA, Rams, Chargers, you name it. We talk lots of Dodgers over there, having a lot of fun with that. And we're doing giveaways as well. So be sure to join the LA Sports Report as well. The Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show asked you guys over on the X, which outfielder would you most want to see the Dodgers trade for? And right now, 25% say Jarren Duran, 47% say Steven Kwan, and 28% say Byron Buxton. And this is a live show, so I want your comments down below. And we've got Noise by Noel Sanchez. He's rocking with us as he always does. Looking for your comments. We're going to give out a comment of the show later during the 7th inning stretch. So have all your takes about all things Dodger baseball ready to roll. We'll check in with you in a little bit. But it's time for Dodgers Dugout Live, and there's so much Dodger baseball to get into. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball is there is a player that we have mentioned in trade talks. He was my dream trade along with Johan Duran this past trade deadline, and that is Byron Buxton. The only issue with the all-star outfielder is that he has a full no-trade clause, and back in August, he said that he wants to be a Twin for life and that he wouldn't waive that no trade clause, that he was going to remain a Twin for the remainder of his career. But all of a sudden, his tune has changed. Byron Buxton would now consider a trade, and presumably that would be to a contender. Dan Hayes of The Athletic, he reported that Derek Falvey, who's the president of baseball operations for the Minnesota Twins, that his focus this offseason is adding to the team, not subtracting the team, unless he is, quote, told otherwise by the ownership. And the Twins, they have some top-level talent, Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez pitchers, and Byron Buxton would be the position player that could be dealt. And right now, it looks like Byron Buxton is open to a trade, that Byron Buxton would consider a move to another team? Would that be the Dodgers? Could that be to the Mets? Could that be to the Yankees? All of a sudden, if this is true, it changes the entire complexion of the offseason. Because you look at the outfielders available, guys like Kyle Tucker, guys like Cody Bellinger, guys like Trent Grisham. Those guys are really solid. And Kyle Tucker's a guy that could get north of $350 million, a double-digit contract, a 10, 11-year deal. But Byron Buxton is a guy that contractually, he would be a bargain when you consider what you would have to pay to get a premier outfielder this offseason. Byron Buxton is a guy that has a lot of value. Yes, there's been some injury history there, but any team that traded for Byron Buxton would have to pay him just, of course, real people money. This to anyone else would be generational wealth. But relative to other baseball players, other all-star players, they would have to pay him $45 million over the last 3 years of the extension that he signed with the Twins. Now, he can tack on an additional $10 million if he hits a certain amount of plate appearances and he finishes in the MVP voting. So there is ways you can make more than $45 million, but even with those escalators, it would still be significantly less than any team that would have to pay Cody Bellinger, and any team that would have to pay Kyle Tucker, who's the biggest ticket. And this is something to monitor. This is something to strongly keep front of mind, because this is a player that checks off a lot of Dodgers boxes. This is a guy that is a five-tool guy. He can steal bases. He can play elite defense. He can slug. He can rake. He's an all-star. He's interesting. I've talked to people from this Dodgers organization that tells me, yeah, you do need a certain amount of star power if you want this team to trade top-level prospects for you, if you want this team to pay big money for you. And Byron Buxton, he's got that name cachet. He plays a certain style that I think would be appealing in this market. And per Dan Hayes, he said that Byron Buxton may be open to waiving his no-trade clause for certain contenders if the Twins keep selling off pieces. So that's the other thing to look at is, will the organization go to Byron Buxton and indicate, hey, we are looking at a bigger long-term rebuild, or are they going to give him some confidence in that, hey, maybe we can find a way to build a contender around you? But the truth is, he's only won one postseason series as a Minnesota Twin. And the likelihood that the Twins are going to turn into a contender for the remainder of his years there, it's unlikely. Look, I'll be honest with you, it ain't happening. And you never know in Major League Baseball. But if Byron Buxton is serious about winning, if he wants to compete for a championship, which most of these guys do. Remember, some love baseball, some love being baseball players. Some love the money, some love the lifestyle, some love playing games in July and August. But the ones that the Dodgers attract, the one the Dodgers pursue, are ones that have winning a World Series and team success right at the top of their goals. And you look at last summer, the Twins, they just traded guys away. I mean, Johan Duran had a couple years of team control, and their payroll projects at $95 million next year. That's down more than $40 million from the opening day number from the 2025 season. So if I am Byron Buxton, I don't need to see anything else, because you got Lopez, who they owe $21.75 million for each of the next 2 years. Joe Ryan is arbitration eligible through 2027. You got Jeffers, who's arbitration eligible through 2026. Those are guys they could also move. So you look at the guys they already did move: Johan Duran, Louis Varland, Griffin Jacks, Brock Stewart. I mean, there was just so many guys that they moved off of. They're not serious about winning. The Minnesota Twins are not serious about winning. So now it's incumbent upon Byron Buxton to make the call to his agent, to make the call to his front office, saying, hey, I want to win. Get me the hell out of here. Get me to a contender now while I still have some prime years left in my career. And what it comes down to for me with the Dodgers and Byron Buxton is, you look at that production and you look at the last couple of years, and what he averages and just the overall body of work. 270 batting average, 330 on base, 540 slug, a 138 weighted runs created plus. That's 38% above league average. League average is 100. That's all-star level offensive production. 53 home runs, 31 steals, 8.7 F4 in 228 games in the last 2 years. And he also did play a career high 136 games in 2025. And that's always been the knock on him is physically he gets hurt. And a lot of it has to do with the style that he plays in. But I think the Dodgers make a lot of sense from that standpoint because in LA, let's be honest, I don't think this organization views and values the regular season like they did 4 or 5 years ago. When it's okay, let's win a baseball game. Let's win 106 games. Let's win 111 games. Let's finish with the best record in baseball. And yes, in 2024, that did lead to a title. But in 2025, even having to play 2 extra games in the wild card round, and even having to go on the road in the NLDS and the NLCS and the World Series, you still were able to win the World Series and you're still able to win a championship. So if Byron Buxton joins the Dodgers, I don't think they're going to demand that he's playing through anything. And they can still win 90 to 100 games, even if he has to miss some time. So from that standpoint, it makes a ton of sense. And I look at the contenders. The Phillies, there's some talk of, hey, could they even trade Bryce Harper? Are they considering blowing it up? The Yankees, American League, does that make sense for the Twins? Why would you want to trade him to an American League team? If you're Byron Buxton, do you really want to go to the Yankees? Where you saw in 2024, they crapped down their leg against the Dodgers. 2025, they didn't get far. The Mets, I still think are an experiment. The Mets can't go to Byron Buxton and say, hey, we're a proven commodity. Even though Stephen Cohen has more money than God, it takes more than just money to build a World Series title. So I've got the trade that can fix the Dodgers outfield. And the number one trade candidate, if he's available, is Byron Buxton. Can hit home runs, can play elite defense, can run the bases. He's a leader. And I think that is going to fit his current aspirations right now. And then you kind of go to that next tier. Does Buxton consider a team like the Astros, a team like the Rays, teams that aren't as financially aggressive as teams like the Dodgers, Yankees, or the Mets or Phillies, but they have been proven winners? Because what's great about this is Byron Buxton holds the cards. Like if Byron Buxton wants to be a Dodger, he can facilitate a trade by saying, hey, I've got a full no trade clause. Don't trade me to the Yankees. I don't go there. Don't trade me to the Phillies. I don't go there. I want to go to Los Angeles. I want to play with the Dodgers. So it's a really exciting development. It really is. And a lot is still in play. It's new news. It's a hot rumor on the streets right now. But I do think that changes the course of the offseason. It really, really does. Because the Dodgers' number one need this offseason, their number one need is to improve their outfield. And there's other names that we've talked about. Compare Byron Buxton to the rest of the names available. Who would you rather have? Byron Buxton for $45 million in a couple more seasons while he's still in his prime at age 32? Or Kyle Tucker that you're going to have to pay him $350+ million. Give him 10 or 11 years. And then Kyle Tucker, he's a logjam in the outfield. What does Kyle Tucker mean for the future of guys like Zaire Hope and Mike Sirota and Josue DePaula, some of these young Dodgers prospects coming up? And once you sign a Kyle Tucker, it's, oh, cool. So that's our team for the next 10 years. I kind of want to have one of those mega contracts to work with in the future. Kyle Tucker is not it for me. And from what I've heard, there's some Rendon in his game a little bit too. And then there's another one, Cody Bellinger. I think Cody Bellinger, who would you rather have? Cody Bellinger for $150 million or Byron Buxton for $45 million? Yes, you'd have to give up prospects, and the prospect capital is different than the currency because your farm system would take a hit. But it's a no-brainer. Byron Buxton is a superior player to Cody Bellinger. So, yeah, really interesting stuff. Give me your takes down below. I want to know what you guys think. Stephen Kwan, I see that. We'll talk some Stephen Kwan. D-Mac loves tortas. We've got Lola, 49.99. I'm supporting the show. Can't see comments, only listening while driving. Lola, what kind of car are you in? Just out of curiosity. Pretty sure it's Dodger Blue, that's for sure. Thank you for the 49.99. We'll use that for Edwin Diaz's contract. We've got Blue Jays lose from Bloodhound Lil Jeff. We got Soong type Brewer manager before the series saying we're just regular guys and then immediately getting swept. Textbook case of reverse psychology. Yeah, I thought, look, he's a good manager. He really is. He really, really is. And Mr. C, but Lola paying off D-Mac's UCLA college loans. I love that. I love that. Not Quags. Hey, D-Mac, 1 day reminder. Don't forget my AirPods tomorrow. Hi, Noel. So I brought in your AirPods and they're on your desk. I left I took one of the Dodgers Nation employees' AirPods and my ears are pretty waxy. So I apologize to your AirPods. But I was listening to the show too. We got Mike Lopez, no disrespect to Buxton, but Cody can play all outfield positions, including first base. I'm not against the idea of paying and playing Cody Bellinger. I'm really not. I would have Cody Bellinger over Kyle Tucker if you want to be completely honest about it. There's a market for Bellinger. The Mets are interested in him. He's played in all three major markets, LA, Chicago, and New York. And today, down at the GM meetings in Las Vegas, my friend, Scott Boras, the most powerful agent known to mankind, he actually talked some Cody Bellinger. Here was Boras talking about Belly at the GM meetings in Las Vegas.
When you look at season 25, I'd say among all the free agent outfielders, he was the top gun of the class. You know, he was defensively certainly a versatile viper in the outfield, playing both first base and all three outfield positions. And he was kind of offensively a middle lineup Merlin in the sense that he felt that, you know, he's providing power and production. The other thing about Belly that's kind of unique for a guy his age, under 30, that, you know, he's played in all three markets, LA, Chicago, New York. And so really in many ways he's an urban maverick, without a doubt. So I think that when you think about what he's done in an LA market, he was kind of Hollywood ringing for, you know, a championship, MVP. He was kind of a Windy City Wolfman and getting the comeback player of the year. And in New York, he was a true Iceman, cooling any thoughts that he couldn't hit behind Judge and lead the Yankees to a playoffs. So, and the other thing about Bellinger this year is that he doesn't have that the qualifying offer is that, that goose is gone. So he's really out of it. So I think that, when it comes to Bellinger, there's no question that, the teams have a need. The need to Belly proceed.
So there's Scott Boras talking about Cody Bellinger, and it'll be interesting to see if anything materializes rumors-wise with Belly and the Dodgers, because Scott Boras, he's a guy the Dodgers have done more deals with. Blake Snell, the most recent example. I got a chance to talk to Scott Boras of the World Series, and what he told me about Bellinger was he loved his time in Los Angeles, and he wouldn't go as far as to say that he wants to be a Dodger again. But the feeling that I got just talking to him is if the Dodgers entered the mix and they were willing to pay him a contract that was similar to ones he's offered by other major market teams, if the Mets are involved or other teams, I certainly believe, and my gut just tells me that Cody Bellinger would consider a reunion with the Dodgers. And you could play him in left, you could play him in right, play him at first base when Freddie Freeman needs a day off. The issue I have with Cody Bellinger and kind of the one warning sign is he was an all-star at Yankee Stadium where he had the short porch. He was a below average player outside of New York. So was he a Yankee Stadium merchant? I'm not saying that, but the numbers will tell you he had a 900 plus OPS at Yankee Stadium and an OPS at a little over 700 at home on the road. So the home road splits were really, really dramatic. He does hit for more contact. The defense still profiles is good. He's another guy that deals with injuries. So if I'm ranking right now, if Byron Buxton truly is going to be available, and it's Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, Jarren Duran, Steven Kwan, all those guys, if I had to rank who's number one for my outfield targets, it's 100% Byron Buxton, and I'll tell you why. Here's the take of the offseason that I've heard everyone say. Everyone keeps saying the same thing, and that is the Dodgers need to get younger. The Dodgers need to get younger. I've heard it from everywhere. The Dodgers need to get younger. I couldn't disagree more. I could not disagree more with this take, and I'll tell you why. The Dodgers don't need to focus on age. They need to focus on how do you maximize this championship window with this current nucleus. How does signing younger players help Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman or Teoscar Hernandez or Kike Hernandez or Miguel Rojas or Max Muncy if you bring them back? How does signing younger players help you with the current version of Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Blake Snell, who's north of 30, and Tyler Glasnow, who's north of 30? How would signing younger players help with that core group? And the point I'm making here is that too much of the Dodgers roster is locked in to think that signing younger players will help sustain this run or give them a better chance to win more World Series titles. The approach and mindset and thought process towards the 2026 Dodgers, I don't think should be, oh, what's going to happen in 2028, in 2029, in 2027. It should be three-peat or bust. It should be you win 3, that rings forever, and then you start the rebuild in 27, 28, and 29. Because the truth is, Max Muncy is here for one more year. And if he's going to be your third baseman, you got to take advantage of that. How many more years will Mookie Betts still be a plus defender, even at shortstop? And can you get his bat back to be an impact plus bat? Well, you don't know with Freddie Freeman. He's got 2 more years left, but he's dealt with ankle injuries. He could fall off. His skills are going to diminish at some point, right? I still think he's baseball's version of fine wine. But the truth is you need to focus on keeping that internal talent that you need and you want to develop. And that's how you can get younger, giving guys opportunities. Maybe a Ryan Ward, give Dalton Rushing maybe some time at another position, potentially. But the truth is the Dodgers have to ask this question. They have to ask this question about their approach this offseason. Do we want a really good team in 2026 that has a chance to repeat while keeping our eyes on the future? Or do we want to put together the very best team that we can put together in 2026 and 27 in order to try to give ourselves a chance to win another ring and three-peat? Because if they want to, they don't have to sign Miguel Rojas. They don't have to re-sign Kike Hernandez. They really don't have to make any moves, and no one can really complain, and everything would be fine because they just went back-to-back. But this whole idea they need to get younger. And look, there's guys. Look, Steven Kwan is a guy that if you trade for him, you get younger, right? He still's got some arbitration years. Jarren Duran's a guy that I think would be interesting as well. A 4.7 WAR player, gives you 40 plus doubles and can hit home runs. He's fast. You get younger there. But The reason why the Dodgers beat the Blue Jays is they were the more experienced team. They were savvy in the clutch moments. When the moment got big, the Blue Jays, they choked. When the moment got big for the Dodgers and the lights got bright, they made these absurd, improbable plays. The double play of Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas to end Game 6. Andy Paz making that catch. Kike is right there. The home run from Miguel Rojas. Will Smith, tons of experience, hits the game-winning home run. Look at Game 3 of the World Series. Veteran pitchers getting the job done. Freddie Freeman hitting the grand moment, the walk-off home run there in the 18th inning. So I do not agree with this whole they need to get younger. I mean, look at the pitching side. With the year that Yamamoto's had, how much can you expect him to pitch every single year, right? I mean, think about that. Just in the blink of an eye, some of these guys can go down with injury. So don't get younger and don't worry about ruining baseball. This move would not ruin baseball. I think it would be a message to the rest of the league that players want to win and the Dodgers are willing to win. So the Dodgers aren't ruining baseball. They're running baseball. And this would be another example of that. But let's get into some comments here. Violet Flame, D-Mac is the guy announcer in the segments of the show. Todd Lights, the Dodgers PA announcer. Yep, that is the Todd father. We love him over here. He was nice enough to record those for us. And yeah, he's my man. I love Todd Lights. He's going to go on the show at some point this offseason. We got Demo-Publican Liberal Servite. D-Mac, the sleeves keep getting shorter. Gun show on full display. Yeah. You know what? I like this shirt, so I'm not going to flex. So I'm not going to have the sleeves pop. No, I'm just playing. We've got those extra medium, man. What size shirt do you wear, Noel?
I like going with the XL. I like a little baggy.
XL?
Bagginess
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
I go 4XL. You know,
4XL?
yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Oh, we got Gabe Smolson, camera tracking writer Gabe Smolson right there.
oh, wow.
There he is.
There he is. Gabe Smolson, social media superstar. Go check out the vlog, guys. We got
Hey, yo, someone, Barry Zito said Dodgers Nation needs to get younger too.
yeah, we do. Absolutely. I think Noel's he just turned 21, right?
No, I turned 23, man.
23.
I mean,
There you go.
Jordan year, you know.
There we go. All right, we got Mario Landaver. I agree, D-Mac. This team is like the Lakers before Kobe was pretty much by himself. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We've got Nago belly bombs and Dodger blue again. Would be nostalgic, LOL. His bat has returned to an extent, but I feel like we wouldn't get the same production if he gave it a little. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a thing. I mean, that's kind of the biggest question. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk some more players the Dodgers could target and another need that they're going to have to address this offseason. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network, your front row seat to everything Dodgers all season long. Home of the #1 Dodgers podcast in the world, Dodgers Dugout Live, hosted by me, Doug McKain. Friends call me D-Mac, and we cover everything about your boys in blue, everything you need to know about Dodger baseball in less than an hour. We've got breaking news, post-game breakdowns, roster updates, trade rumors, in-depth player analysis, Dodgers trivia, you name it. Whether it's a wild walk-off at the Ravine, a key call-up from OKC, we've got the insight, we got the coverage, and we're here for you all year long. We're the #1 Dodgers site on every platform, and we're born and based in LA. We're loyal to the soil. Dodger baseball is what we do. Trusted by tens of thousands of daily listeners, Dodgers Nation is more than just recaps. We are LA. Whether you're in Echo Park or out in the Valley, Beverly Hills, whatever it is, if you bleed blue, this pod's for you. The more you guys subscribe, the bigger we can build, and we can do this together. So stay up to date with our Dodgers Nation post-game shows and breakdowns and podcasts. You can listen while you're lifting, while you're in traffic, or while pretending to answer work emails. We won't tell. Subscribe now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your baseball fix. So if you're a new listener or a longtime listener of the podcast, write us a review and we'll read it on the show. Join the conversation, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a pitch with the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. Okay, so we've got the first need. We're still talking about that. It's the outfield mix. Next name I want to talk about is Jarren Duran. So Jarren Duran is another guy that you could potentially trade for. He's a guy that would be a tradable candidate. So there's the different buckets here. There's the guys that you would sign: Tucker, Bellinger, Trent Grisham, not on my list, but those types, Cedric Mullins. Then there's the guys that you would have to trade for. And Jarren Duran would be on the trade list. He'd be a guy that you would have to trade for. And I think with Duran, what makes it really interesting is if you were to go out and if you had to go out and get Duran, it would be another move that would signal, hey, he's 29, not the youngest, right? You're not seeing, he's already kind of in that 30 range, younger than Buxton, younger a little bit than Belly, in that Tucker range. He's a left-handed hitter, so similar to Kyle Tucker. He did struggle in his first couple of seasons, but in 2023, he started to really come on. Then in 2024, he made the All-Star team. He led the league in doubles with 48, had 14 triples, always the triples leader. He's fast. And he's a WAR guy too, man. I mean, he led American League hitters in our WAR at 8.4. I mean, he did have a down year in 2025, but he was still productive. Hit 256, slugged 442, had 16 home runs, 24 steals, and a league high 13 triples. Had a 4.7 R WAR season. So that definitely is good. I mean, I think the thing about Duran is he'd be a fan favorite too. Like, people really love Jarren Duran because he plays with reckless abandon. He's got speed. He's stolen at least 24 bases in each of the last 3 seasons. He was a Gold Glove finalist in center field. The defensive metrics are there. The intensity, the fire that he plays with, I think would appeal to Dodgers fans. And you look at his contract status, the Red Sox, they signed him to a 1-year deal worth $7.7 million for 2026 to avoid arbitration. They did decline his club option at $8 million, and he was projected to earn $8.4 million through arbitration. So he would be eligible for arbitration again after next year and in 2027, and wouldn't be available for free agency until 2028. So you would have him under team control for a while, for a couple of seasons, and this wouldn't cost you a ton just financially. It'd be about the prospect capital. And when you kind of look at the Red Sox situation as far as the outfielders they do have, I mean, there's a reason why he was deep into trade talk. So if Jarren Duran is available, it's definitely a possible target. And I think that for Duran, what stands out with him is I think he's got the biggest kind of lowest floor potentially, but also he does, I think, have a high ceiling as well. And I think the way he could fit into this lineup would be interesting too. I think that he does bring those extra intangibles that fans like I mentioned. So Jarren Duran's another guy. So now you kind of open it up. You got Duran. We talked about Steven Kwan. You've got Cody Bellinger. We talked about Kyle Tucker. We'll spend some more time talking about him a little later. So that is a very big question right there, is what do you do in the outfield? Because yesterday, Brandon Gomes, Dodgers GM, he did make some comments on Ryan Ward. And Ryan Ward, like we talked about last night's show, is someone that deserves a look in some organization. I mean, we could start a campaign, justice for Ryan Ward, because he has raked at the minor league level. He's the Pacific Coast Player of the Year. And Gomes was asked about him yesterday. Could Ryan Ward get a shot? And Gomes said he came up a bunch. I think a lot of it is it's hard when it's like you're going to bring somebody up. How much runway do you actually have for them? How does it work as far as a 40-man spot? And who are you going to lose? So there's a lot of factors that go into it. And then having a veteran club, a versatile group where you can kick guys to different spots. So it didn't happen during the regular season, but we are certainly anticipating Wardo to get a bunch of opportunities at some point this year. So that is pretty telling. It does tell you that there is a possibility that the Dodgers do have a younger minor league level type of hitter that they're considering. So Ryan Ward's pretty interesting. I'm not saying it's a slam dunk, but I do think that they're going to give an opportunity at least at some point So that kind of tells you that that's kind of where they're at. Now, as far as the outfield configuration, another thing to consider too, another question for the outfield is, what are you with Andy Pages? Like, with Tommy Edman undergoing the surgery and Andy Pages playing a lot of center field, he profiles more as a right fielder. Do you move Andy Pages to right, and do you move Teoscar Hernandez to left? That's going to be a question they're going to have to answer this offseason as well. Because the truth is, Andy Pages is really not going to be a long-term solution at center field. Can he get the job done? Has he improved? The answer is yes, but you're not getting a lot of plus at that position. He's a guy that could win a Gold Glove at a corner outfield spot. He's a guy that could win the Gold Glove in right field. That's why Byron Buxton is perfect. Byron Buxton last year, 118 games at center field. Byron Buxton is a true center fielder. Andy Pages, this is Hollywood, right? This is where some actors get miscast for roles they're not supposed to play. Andy Pages is being miscast as a center fielder. Byron Buxton last year, 3 outs above average, 81st percentile. 96th percentile hard hit rate, 96th percentile barrel rate. Go get Byron Buxton, okay? So next big need. We talked about it yesterday, and that is you got to go out there and get a reliever. You have to go get a top-end guy. They've been linked to some of the best names available, really. We look at Edwin Diaz. When you look at Devin Williams as a guy that he had a down year, but we talked about the fact that the velocity about the same at 94 miles per hour, the strikeout rate about the same, the whiff rate, very respectable. From talking to scouts and people around the league, the big issue that Devin Williams had was a lot of the sequencing. And the sequencing was just not where it was supposed to be and that he felt comfortable with. And I still think that Devin Williams makes a ton of sense for the Dodgers. He's another guy that I think has a ton of upside. You wouldn't have to break the bank on him. We talked about Robert Suarez as an option. We talked about Kenley Jansen as an option. I don't think Kenley Jansen would be the answer, but I think that Kenley Jansen should be considered at the right price. And we're trying to get Kenley Jansen in the studio, which I hope he does, because it'd be cool to talk to big Kenley Jansen, Dodgers legend. Last year as a reliever, a 2.59 ERA, a 2.4 WAR, 57 strikeouts in 59 innings, had 29 saves, and a sub-1 whip. Like, Kenley Jansen is still really good. And if he'd be willing to sign with the Dodgers at a team-friendly contract, you'd be almost stupid not to consider Kenley Jansen back. Kenley Jansen is not going to be what he used to be, but he could still be something, and he could be productive for this team. Because ask yourself this question: who would you rather have in a game next year, right now? Kenley Jansen or Blake Trinan? Kenley Jansen or Tanner Scott? I would say Kenley Jansen right now. I know it sounds crazy to say. So what I think the Dodgers should really do, and there's other names too. We talk about Ryan Helsley as a name where he could get him for like a 2-year, $24 million deal. So other guys out there. But Kenley Jansen plus an Edwin Diaz, a Robert Suarez, and a Devin Williams, that's where I'm at. And you guys know my track record on these predictions, especially offseason stuff, not batting 1,000, but I could win a batting championship, right? Tony Gwynn, Ted Williams style for the predictions from last year. And it does feel like that's going to be the move, is we're going to get one of the upper echelon guys, and then we're going to dip into that next tier. Because what we're not going to do is throw Roki Sasaki back out there as a closer. They've already confirmed that. What we're not going to do is pay hotel minibar prices and try to trade for a reliever during the season. So now is the time they're going to look to rebuild that bullpen, and they're going to do it through free agency, because trades, you don't love that when it comes to the bullpen pieces, right? You want to reserve that for position players, guys that are tough to acquire, and guys that would cost a lot more than relievers do, right? Look at Edwin Diaz. Give him $82 million. That's still less than you would have to pay for Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette. All these guys are available, right? So that is the big thing. The Dodgers bullpen Last year, they were a dumpster fire. They were terrible. They had an ERA at almost 5, and it was the worst ERA for a Dodgers bullpen in franchise history at one point. I mean, that's how bad they were. And to think that you're going to be able to run it back again with guys that are gone and just use internal options, it's not going to be the case. You need to go out there and spend on a bullpen. So that is the second biggest need. Now, the third biggest need to me is not necessarily a need, but it is a big question. And I'm surprised no one asked Brandon Gomes this. Might have to drive to Las Vegas. But do they still plan on having Mookie Betts be their everyday shortstop? What is the plan at short? Because we know that defensively, the metrics, that him leading the league in defensive runs saved and the fact that he was a Gold Glove finalist, we know that he can be a competent shortstop. Now, what does that mean for the bat overall for an entire season? We don't know that because we haven't seen what Mookie looks like at second base or back in the outfield for an extended period of time at this stage of his career. Maybe the best contribution that Mookie can make at this stage of his career is by being above average defensive shortstop. But that's a question. And it feels like they're going to run it back. And that's why I think Miguel Rojas is important, because he essentially is Mookie's shortstop whisperer. He is it's a mentor-mentee situation. So he's important for that. But if they do decide, hey, that's an area we might want to explore, then you're going to have to look elsewhere. Right now, gun to my head, I would say that Mookie Betts is back at shortstop next year, because I think that that's where he wants to be. And the organization, at the very least, doesn't see Bo Bichette as a shortstop viable option. There's been a lot of teams looking at Bo Bichette as a third base and as a second baseman. So we'll see if that market develops for him. Bo Bichette can rake, though. And if he could play shortstop, the move I would consider making would be that. But here's the thing. With Tommy Edman dealing with the ankle injury and undergoing surgery, yes, the hope is that he comes back 100%, but Edman's been a Gold Glove second baseman. So I think initially what the plan would be for Edman would be, yes, they've already told us he's going to be ready for the start of the year, but it'll be Edman coming back and being a second baseman. And that could be his long-term play, and maybe see him at third base sometime. Maybe you could see a platoon option with Max Muncy and Kike and guys like that if they bring them back into the fold. So that's probably what you're going to see with that. Now, the fourth biggest need, you guys are going to probably be shocked I'm going to say this. Do they need another starting pitcher? Do they need another starter? Wait, you say, wait a minute, they got Yamamoto, the World Series MVP. They got Shohei Ohtani. They got Glass now. They got Snell. What are you talking about? They've got Gavin Stone and River Ryan, some guys coming back. Well, let's break all those guys down. Snell, shoulder injury, missed a good amount of the season. Glass now, injury last year, missed a good amount of the season. Ohtani, a guy that you're going to have on a 6-man rotation. Coming second Tommy John surgery. How many innings did you get out of Shohei Ohtani? Yamamoto just absolutely posted last year. Was an absolute beast for the Dodgers in the regular season and in the postseason. Ended up going 173 and 2/3 innings. We haven't seen that kind of production and those amount of innings since we had Walker Buehler in Dodger Blue. And the postseason, he was absolutely remarkable how many innings he was able to go and going on short rest. Last year in the postseason, the wild card round, 6 2/3. NLDS, 4 innings. NLCS, 9 innings. And the World Series, 17 2/3 innings. So you add all those innings up, it's a lot of innings. He's the guy who dealt with the shoulder injury. So you look at all of those. I look at this as, hey, if the Detroit Tigers are seriously considering trading Tarek Skubal, the Dodgers are the one team that can make a move for him. The Dodgers are one of the teams that has the prospect capital to get a deal done with the Tigers. Because the truth is, the lowball offers for Skubal have been embarrassing. $290 million, things like that. Skubal deserves to be compensated as the top pitcher in baseball. He really does. Like, he's that good. And if I'm him, I want out. If I'm the Tigers, I'm saying, hey, we're not going to win with Tarek Skubal. Let's get some of those Dodgers prospects. Let's go out there and try to make a move. And he's the kind of guy you want to cash in for. Because Paul Skenes, I don't know if you guys saw Paul Skenes, the latest on Skenes is that he wants out, and there was a player that said about Paul Skenes that he wanted to be a Yankee, which is pretty interesting stuff. One of Skenes' teammates said, quote, "Trust me, he wants to play for the Yankees. I've heard him say it multiple times." So that's interesting stuff. And they also said that Paul Skenes is hoping for a trade and that he has, quote, "no confidence the Pirates are ever going to win." So this was an anonymous player that was talking about the Paul Skenes situation. And the Pirates GM, Ben Cherington, he did say that he was not going to be on a different team next year. But GMs talk all the time. And if I'm the Pirates GM, I'm going to talk to Paul Skenes about this. And he's another guy. If he's available, if there's any chance, you make the call and you see if you could acquire a Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes, Livy Dunn, LA. I mean, come on now. Writes itself. Reality shows. Be awesome. So I know it sounds crazy. Wait, D-Mac, how the hell could you tell me the Dodgers have a need as starting pitcher? You can never have enough starting pitchers. And I think they need to consider just the fluidity of the situation and the fact that they are one of the only organizations that could pull off a deal for those types of guys, the Skubals, the Skenes. I don't think Skenes is going to get traded, but Skubal possibly could. And if I had to pick between the two, obviously you go Paul Skenes. I don't think anyone would say Skubal, but hey, there's no reason. Let's not get content here. Let's not get content. But those are really the needs. I mean, you need an outfielder. You need a top level reliever, multiple relievers. You need to ask questions about the shortstop spot. I think you need another starting pitcher. And the last one is, do you need veterans on the bench? Do you need Kike Hernandez back and Miguel Rojas? I think if you're going to run this whole group back, Miguel Rojas told us on the show that they deserve the opportunity to three-peat. I do think that I trust the organization in this situation, that Kike still has some life left in him, that he still could help this team win in the postseason. I don't think that you need him like you need oxygen, but I do think that they should be a priority. They really should. They really should be the priority. I still think that those contributions and what they mean to the clubhouse, you would really shake this group up. I'm not thinking about 27, 28, 29. I'm thinking about 2026. So those are your needs right there for the offseason. We're going to continue to get into more of them. Still got my top free agent list. Still going to drop later this week. And now let's hear from you guys. We got some questions. We're going to give a comment to the show here. That's coming up next on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
Dodgers, SW2 UK. If the Dodgers allow the Red Sox to get Skubal to go at Crochet, they'll regret it in October. That's always a factor. When you don't get a guy, that he goes to a team that you could face, but you can't really think of it like that. Cantankerous, $10. Dodgers got burned last year going after hot relievers. I think the Dodgers are more likely to go after someone with a down year and a project player than pay tons for a relief pitcher like Scott and get burned. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. You burn me once, I don't want to go touch that fire again. I get it. But I mean, you can't think like that. I mean, if you think like that, then you're going to end up with a roster that doesn't have to be the way it is because your financial resources allow you to take another gamble. Like, you look at great investors out there, and what do they tell you? What do they tell you? It's always easier to make $1 million after you've made $1 million, right? It's always easier to make $1 billion after you made $1 billion. And if you lose $1 billion, it's always easier to make it back when you have experience already being a billionaire or being a millionaire. The Dodgers, they're the billionaires, right? They're the millionaires. They're the centimillionaires. So that's not how those guys view things. Just because it didn't work out once doesn't preclude you for the next investment to be working, right? That's not how these things work. And who's to say that Tanner Scott is not going to have a bounce back year? I mean, I hate that. I absolutely freaking hate that. How everyone's acting like Tanner Scott is a bust. Like, he's still under contract for a couple more seasons. The velocity, the movement, there is a world where Tanner Scott can still help this team, right? It's not like he's a Jason Schmidt or a player that was completely injured. So, yeah, was he a bust in year one? I'm not afraid to say that. He was. I mean, he almost 5 ERA, led the league in blown saves. But there is a world where he can still help this team throughout that contract. And the truth is the Dodgers have already invested so heavily on free agent pitchers and free agent position players that if you're looking to bolster this roster and fill a need, when you've got a lot of money and it ain't your money, it ain't my money, and it's really, they're at such a surplus that they'd rather preserve that farm system to go out there and use those pieces to get a elite position player, an elite starting pitcher, or fill another position of need, or develop those guys, then have to part ways with prospects to get someone. So you kind of get what you pay for, man. And scared money don't make none. So I totally disagree with the whole Tanner Scott should make you not want to go out there and sign a big reliever. By the way, my friend Araj Markazi, you see that? He said that Edwin Diaz is the Dodgers are merging as favorites.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I forgot what betting outlet, but yeah, the Dodgers are the favorites.
Yeah, my guy Edwin Diaz, Araj Markazi. We got talking chit, like CHIT. If Shohei wants Skenes, Cody, or my granny, make it happen. There's a comment to the show contender. I like that one. Give you a nice little SU win.
You win. Perfect.
We got healthy, wise, and fit. You said 2 World Series rings ensures that Ohtani's 10-year contract is a success. Had the Dodgers lost in 2025 and Ohtani won only in 2024 in his 10 years, would the 10 years be viewed as a disappointment? I would say the answer to that is no. I think that you could say it's underwhelming, maybe, but to say it would be a disappointment, I don't think would be factual. I don't think that would be fair, because let's consider this. Shohei Ohtani was on another team for 6 years with Mike Trout, and they didn't even win a playoff game together. So the truth is it a success now? It is. There's no doubt about it. You win 2 World Series titles, it's a success, but now it can be a legendary success. It can be a bigger success. There's no limits to this stuff, man. You can take it to levels where it can be unattainable for other people. Like, think about this. Isn't it fun to say this? That anytime you brought up a back-to-back team, you'd always have to be like, oh, you haven't had a back-to-back champion since the 2000 Yankees. You haven't had a back-to-back champion since the 2000 Yankees. Now it's, hey, you haven't had a back-to-back champion since the 24 and 25 Dodgers. Wouldn't it be awesome to say, oh, you haven't had a three-peat since the 24, 25, 26 Dodgers? And I think that people don't truly realize the vision that the Guggenheim Group and Andrew Friedman and all the powers that be have for this current version of the Dodgers. Like, they want to be at the table with the top franchises, not just in baseball, but in all of professional sports. As a brand, I think they're essentially there, but there's still more winning to be done if you want to be at the Lakers table and at the Yankees table and at the top teams, Real Madrid's. I mean, we're talking that very short list. Truth is, they're not there yet. They're really not. But with a 3-peat, 4, 5, 6 title, I mean, they really could level up to being at that very, very elite top 5 sports franchise. I mean, that's something that is possible for this group. And imagine if I told you that during the McCourt era. You would never have believed me, right? You'd be like, D-Mac, what are you smoking? Give me some of that, right? We've got Cantankerous $10 super chat. The way it works with the Dodgers is a starting pitcher, but only top 4 get to start. If you fall behind, you go to the bullpen. It's a contest competition. Who needs a bullpen when you manage pitching this way. Yeah. They won innings out of their starters, though. We've got LA Loves a Trilogy 3-peat. That's a good one. Mosquito Juice, a $1.99 super chat. I like that. What? Which one? Oh, super chat?
Yeah, there's a couple super
okay.
chats.
We've got Mosquito Juice. You don't reheat McDonald's fries. That's my line for sure. But hey, I heard you can air fry them and they taste pretty good. So maybe air fry those McDonald's fries. We got to Adam Child, 999. I have a random question. What are your thoughts on Brent Doyle? I don't even know what the Dodgers are thinking of him, his contract, but he seems good. Sucks he's stuck in Colorado. Yeah. I mean, Brent Doyle is an interesting guy, interesting name, but I mean, very below average offensively playing in Colorado, 72 OPS plus. Doesn't really move the needle too much. PP 9566. Dodgers are like Gladiator. What you do in life echoes for eternity. There you go. That's another comment of the show. Here's some good ones today, Noel. We got $2 from Mike Lopez. Sign Murakami, third baseman Belly, outfield first baseman Suarez, left-handed pitcher Diaz. Oh, you're going crazy with it. I like it. Snafu, DMAC wants the roster to look like a stack of Pokemon cards. Hey, give me Charizard. Give me Pikachu. Do you have a favorite Pokemon, Noel?
I'm not like a super big Pokemon person, so kind of tough. But I mean, I just know Pikachu, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't go that deep, but I mean,
what about you? You got a favorite one?
Pikachu, because I remember I had my picture of my Pikachus in Tokyo.
Oh, I do remember that.
Pikachu's awesome. That's I don't think it's Pokemon, dude, but it's all good. You know who loves Pokemon is our friend Anthony Bonda.
Yes, sir.
Anthony Bonda told me that when he's stressed, he just opens up his binder Pokemon cards, flips through it.
That's pretty cool. You see all the binders throughout the postseason, all the pitchers.
I know. His has Pokemon cards.
It's Pokemon.
We got Mosquito Juice 199 trade for Scooble Duran, signed Diaz 3-peat imminent. I like it. Kun G Club. All these hot closers need to have a prior big game experience too. A different kind of pressure playing for the Dodgers. That's the thing too. We know they're always going to get creative in the postseason. Yamamoto got the final out. I mean, look at this. What do we say? I mean, one of the things I was wrong about was Ohtani getting a save in the postseason, right? But one of the things I was right about was that a starting pitcher would get the final out for the Dodgers again, right? 88, Oral Hershiser. 2020, Julio Urias. 2024, Walker Buehler. And 2025, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. We've got Adam Young. Does Boston still want to do business with the Dodgers after the Mookie and Dustin May deals? Yeah, Tibbs III is really good. And those teams, they're always going to be trade partners. But yeah, if I was Boston, I would, when I see that 310, that 213, that 626 area code, I'm like, oh gosh, about to get fleeced again by Andrew Friedman and company. DMAC, do you get a World Series ring? I do not get a World Series ring. I will get hopefully the giveaway. Hopefully I'll go there one night when they have them the next year. That'll be interesting what the ring will look like. Because I actually predicted that it was going to look gold last year. Nothing's kind of can you do all sapphire, kind of like the Yamamoto, maybe the all blue would kind of be kind of cool.
I want to get that chain that he has. I need to find that.
Yeah. And they're Happy Jewelers in the OC. They do. And they did the Kike's chain too.
Sponsor the show, maybe.
I know, right? Yeah. They're going to have an event. You should go out and cover it.
Where is it?
It's somewhere in the OC. I don't know.
Oh, damn. I actually will go out and cover it.
Yeah. Athletic Delta. Dodgers are playing with that Monopoly type money, that Real Madrid type money. Yeah. And they've got Park Place and Boardwalk with hotels on them, right? And everyone thinks that those are the two most valuable properties. Really, when you look at the dice probability, you want the red spots. You want Indiana Avenue, right? You want that part of the board. Love me some Monopoly. $5 super chat from Adam Child. The goal is to be better than last year. Bring in the best available. Spend the money. Go Dodgers. See, that's the mentality, right? Like, we're the billionaires that have the mansion in Bel Air, the yacht. But hey, we need a plane too. We need a G4, right? We need an island somewhere. We need to go to outer space, right? There's no limit. NY NY Rome Chinico.
Yeah.
$5. Honestly, on a team-friendly deal, I want to get Jansen and Dodger Blue for when he breaks into third all-time save record. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's not like, oh, we want him back because of the past. I want him back because I think it'd help this team. And once he is back, and there is those additional pluses about that too. I totally agree. We've got Brianna Rochelle. Someone start a fund to get DMAC a World Series ring. Hey, I'm cool with the replica. The replicas, you can't even tell the difference. Really, like the replicas are so good these days. But, there's also different versions of the ring too. The ones that the players get, and there's one that kind of employees get. But if I had it, I'd wear it, man. I'd be flexing. I like when some people wear it as a chain. It's kind of cool. You can wear it as a chain. But Reno says Yamamoto is warming up to start in every consecutive WBC matchup as we speak. That's the thing too. Brandon Gomes said yesterday that they hadn't had the conversations with their players about the WBC. I'm curious to see if they're going to be heavily involved, right? Yamamoto's pitched a lot. Roki Sasaki's pitched a lot. You've got Shohei Ohtani coming back off second. Tommy John will even pitch if he plays in it. So, and we know it's important to play for them, though, and represent your country. I don't think they'll push back on it, but that's something to look for this offseason. We got PP. Dodgers don't need to go young quite yet. Mookie and Freddie still have a few good years left, but they do need to set up for the next long contract. Yep. Reno, I'd ugly laugh. What's an ugly laugh?
Yeah. It's like the laugh you do sometimes before the show when you're.
You guys ever? Okay. Oh, Antonio laugh.
Antonio.
You guys remember Tony Taters? Yeah, his laugh was crazy. Robert has a really good laugh.
Yeah, Robert
has a good laugh. Tony.
There he is.
There's Robert. Tony Taters has a good laugh though. We've got Mike Lopez. I'd rather see Cody. I believe the Dodgers owners sit with him. They could come to a non-lucrative deal. The Dodgers did pay Cody a few years. Nah, that's not how it works with Scott Boras. I understand what you're saying. They're going to try to get 100 plus, 140, 150. Mr. Seabad, word up DMAC from China Grove, Texas, the Dodgers capital of the East. Didn't know that. I like it. Reno, Bucks would go ham in Dodger blue. Lunchtime in Dodgers news. Best combo. Eric Karros. Everyone tells me that at the stadium. That they really look forward to their lunches and they get mad when people bother them.
Yeah.
While they're watching my show when they're eating.
That's me, bro. I love watching YouTube while I eat too.
Yeah, and you hate being bothered too.
I love watching the Dodgers Dougout live YouTube cut.
You hate being bothered. If you guys talk to Noel while he's eating, man, he gets.
I'm eating while I'm watching YouTube.
Yeah, but you watch YouTube while you're eating.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm watching your show. I'm trying to figure out how we could get better.
This is your show, man.
No.
We've got how come Dave Roberts was okay. Real quick on that though. We don't need Justin Turner back. Dust disturbing. How come Dave Roberts was not even in the running for manager of the year? Who cares? You know why? Look at the guys that won, right? Like Thompson. You had Terry Francona, right? And it's like you look at the entire group right there, and Dave Roberts got the last laugh. He really, really did. I mean, he beat Pat Murphy in the NLCS. He beat Rob Thompson in the NLDS. He beat Terry Francona there in the wild card round. So yeah, I mean, look, the truth is, why did Dave Roberts not get any votes is because everyone feels that the Dodgers roster is so talented that for him to get votes and to him to win that award, the Dodgers would have had to won 110 to 120 games because most people would view them winning 93 with that roster and that payroll as a disappointment. So that definitely is why. So he's fine. But all right, guys, running out of time. Let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone.
All right, so I don't know if you guys saw this. Really interesting story here involving our friend Hae-Sung Kim. So Hae-Sung Kim, after becoming the first Korean position player ever to earn a ring in his rookie season, he went back to South Korea to celebrate with his family, to go back to his country. And as he arrived at the airport, he had a press conference, and it was organized at the airport terminal. And I've seen that there. That's how they do it in some of the international leagues. It's very common, nothing out of the ordinary. And there was a guy there that was in there that snuck in to protest against Hae-Sung Kim, claiming that his dad owed him money. And the man tried to display this banner and demanded that Kim pay him that money for the financial damages that he accused his father of. And Hae-Sung Kim, he did not continue with the question and answering session until there was an order in place that the man was removed, and the security guards, they took care of him. He got removed. But during this man's plea, the stranger, he pointed out that Haesung's father owed him $100 million in won, and that is the equivalent of $68,600. Now, Haesung did not talk about this. He did not address this, but this is weird. It's kind of a weird thing. I mean, this is not the first time, too, that the man has tried to demand that Haesung's dad pay him the money. He needs to get some security, man. This is very interesting. And we know Haesung, he played with the Kiwoom Heroes in the KBO. No word on what the money is from or for. Who knows what this is about, really? We're going to try to dig deeper into it. And he did say that he was happy to have his first year in the show and that he wants to train and be better so he can play more in his second season. But that's got to be pretty weird for Haesung Kim. And here's the thing, too. $68,000 for guys like that, it's not the craziest amount of money. It's not the craziest amount of money. But this guy went out of his way to make a banner that said, hey, your dad owes me money. So who knows what it's for? Who knows what it's for? But he continues to protest him. And the truth is, if he actually owed him money, why wouldn't he just take legal action? And yeah, Noel, anything else you see from this?
Yeah, just that he did look pretty upset. Like I said, I believe he addressed it a little bit. Like he kind of said, like telling the guy to like leave him alone, and like they shouldn't be like coming up in like his press conference and following him like that. But I've never really seen him mad. And that was like the first time I saw him like look kind of mad, and it just sucks because like he's finally coming home. You know, his first like year away and like in the United States with the Dodgers, and to have to come back to this. And like I was looking more into it. I think in Korea, there's no like law that specifies you have to pay off your parents' debt if like your parents aren't like paying it. So like the guy's really just harassing and just trying to say like you're making money from playing with the Dodgers, so you should pay me. And it sucks. I hate to see that.
And at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say this dude's a stalker.
Yeah.
Like this guy's a stalker. And ever since he started playing for the Kiwoom Heroes, this guy's been attending games with large banners and trying to get him and his family to pay off his money. Here's the thing. Like, I don't know what this money's for, but at this point, like, I mean, if the Dodgers should just send this dude a check, like get the hell away from my player. Cause it's very weird because he actually has been, this guy's name is Mr. Kim from Gottschalk, right? And he actually, according to Korean law, like you said, children are not legally obligated to repay debts incurred by a living parent. So first of all, it has nothing to do with him, right? It has nothing to do with him other than maybe I guess embarrassing him publicly and like, okay, like what do you do with my dad? But he has been convicted twice. He was fined 1 million won in 2019 and 3 million in 2023. And the funny thing about this is all the money is probably going to get fined at some point. It's like, will this get, close to, I mean, if he keeps doing this forever, I mean, at some point you're just costing yourself money. So that is really, really, really weird because who knows if he does have a legitimate claim against it. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. And of course, that's why I tune into the show, guys. We go everything. We do everything. And we got to give you guys be the most informed Dodgers fan out there. Super chat on the way out. Mosquito Juice 499. If you go to outer space, you might find more Ohtanis. Yeah, I don't even know. Different galaxies. Pretty sure that there's not even Ohtanis in those galaxies. He's truly one of one. But that's going to do it, guys. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Special thanks to producer Noel, the rest of the gang, and you guys out there. Do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Join the Discord. Join us later for the LA Sports Report. We're talking more Dodger baseball over there. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.